In Pepper 2, you're an angel that must complete not one, but 4 mazes by zipping them up section by section. You're pursued by disembodied eyes and a whippersnapper that will unzip any unfinished sections it speeds across. If you zip up a section with a pitchfork, you'll temporarily turn into a devil that can attack the eyes and freeze the whippersnapper. If you zip up the center section when it's a halo, you'll also make the whippersnapper disappear. Believe it or not, these are not the strangest facts about this game. The biggest question is, why is this game called Pepper 2? One theory is that the game was supposed to be called Zipper, but was changed because the name was already copywritten. That still doesn't explain why it's called Pepper 2, because this game is a sequel to nothing. There is no Pepper 1. That attention to copyright didn't seem to carry over to the game's music. When you finish a maze, the game briefly plays Zippity Doo Dah, a song from the notorious film Song of the South, owned by the notoriously litigious Disney. That might explain why in a time when arcade games got ported to multiple home consoles, there was only one home port of Pepper 2, for the ColecoVision. The origin of gaming achievement starts in 1979 when 4 Atari game programmers, David Crane, Larry Kaplan, Alan Miller, and Bob Whitehead, realized that their games accounted for 60% of Atari's sales, yet received no royalties or recognition. The Gang of 4 soon left Atari and formed the very first third-party game developer, Activision. So what does this have to do with gaming achievements? Activision's games for the 2600 had what could be argued as the first gaming achievements. The challenge and target goal was listed in the gaming manual. When you reached that goal in the game, you had to take a picture of the TV screen, wait for the picture to get developed. This was the 80s, no digital cameras. Hope the picture came out right, then mail the picture to Activision. This was the 80s, no internet. They sent back a pretty cool patch that you could put on whatever you wanted. I'd chase more achievements now if I could get a cool patch. After talking about the first gaming achievements from Activision, I decided to try my hand at some of the challenges. First up, Barnstorming. You play a stunt pilot flying a biplane through a set number of barns while flying over windmills and avoiding birds in the shortest possible time. Run into anything, and you stall, wasting precious time. You fly the plane up or down, and the button controls speed. So how did I do? This game's achievement is unique in that you can choose different goals from different levels for the same patch. I chose the first level, storm 10 barns in less than 33.3 seconds. These are fixed levels. The barns, birds, and windmills are always in the same place, so it's a matter of finding and remembering the right path. It still took quite a few tries since I couldn't run into anything. There's no room for error. Finally, I managed to fly in at under 33.3. Patch earned. 1993 saw the release of the first live-action movie based on a video game, Super Mario Bros., which made Sega say, yeah, we're in no rush, for 27 years. The unfocused tone of the movie stems from the directors, Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel, wanting a dark cyberpunk tone, like they did with Max Headroom, and distributor Disney, who demanded rewrites for a light kid-friendly tone. This resulted in a box office bomb and a lot of leftover footage. In June 2021, SMBmovie.com worked with filmmaker Garrett Gilchrist to release Super Mario Bros. The Morton Jankel Cut. The new version adds in over 20 minutes of extended footage to flesh out the story and the world, along with a lot of digital cleaning and color grading of the newly found extended footage. Links and downloads are available online for free, but that still isn't the final say in Mario movie madness. Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach was an anime released in Japan in 1986, never officially available in the US, but in April 2022, Femboy Films released a full restoration of the film. Working from an old 16mm film print, it was scanned to 4K resolution, digitally cleaned up, color graded, given new crystal clear audio, and even brand new subtitles made just for this release. You can even watch it for free online. Jump and fight your way through 4 levels of enemies and obstacles to rescue a damsel in distress. No, not Donkey Kong. This is Jungle Hunt. Instead of a plumber, you play an explorer that has to swing from vine to vine, swim through croc-infested waters, jump over boulders, and finally, leap over, shall we say, indigenous people with an alternative diet and save the girl. But this wasn't the first version of the game. This game was originally Jungle King, where you play a wild man with long hair and a loincloth like Tarzan, right down to an 8-bit sample of the Tarzan yell from the movies of the 30s. This prompted a lawsuit from the estate of Edgar Rice Burroughs, writer of the original Tarzan books and owner of the yell's trademark. Changing hair color each level didn't seem to fool anyone, so Jungle King became Jungle Hunt. This still isn't the end of the story. For some reason, there is a third version of this game called Pirate Pete, where you're recast as a swashbuckler. You swing across a boat's masts instead of a jungle, you fight sharks instead of crocodiles, and you leap over other pirates while the girl is still suspended over a boiling pot for some reason. Maybe they're cannibal pirates? This game feels more difficult from the start, so ye be warned if ye track this version down. In 1980, PacMan took arcades by storm and by surprise. An interesting fact is that Atari had the opportunity to license the game from Namco for the US arcade market, but turned it down. Atari didn't make the same mistake when it came to the home market. They fought for exclusive rights, assigned programmer Todd Fry to create the 2600 version, and hyped the upcoming release for months. In 1982, the exclusive 2600 version of PacMan was released. To be fair to programmer Todd Fry, he had no access to the original game code. The Atari 2600 had a mere fraction of the memory of the arcade game, and he had a fraction of the time to make the game from scratch. It was criticized, but still the biggest selling game for the 2600. But the story doesn't end there. In 2014, over 30 years after Atari's PacMan, user Dintar816 posted his homebrew 2600 version of PacMan on the forums of AtariAge.com and continues to refine the game today. From the graphics to the AI of the ghosts, even the inclusion of the cutscenes and a title screen. Also, Todd Fry gave his approval upon viewing the game himself at a convention. It's old school Activision achievement time. This is Beam Rider. It's unique in that this game came out for the Intellivision before the 2600. Your ship must, as the name suggests, ride beams and shoot down 15 enemy ships to clear a sector, avoid the ever-increasing obstacles, then try to take out a boss ship with your limited supply of torpedoes. So how did I do? You need to get to Sector 14 with at least 40,000 points to get this patch. And I have to say, this game gets brutal. You get one chance per sector to get an extra life, and you need every ship you can get. Plus, you have to take down the boss ship at each sector, because that awards bonus points based on how many ships you have. After many tries, I was able to reach 50,000 points, and my virtual patch obtained. It's old school Activision achievement time. Welcome to Chopper Command. You play a chopper pilot that must protect a convoy of trucks from getting wiped out by enemy planes and choppers. You have a handy long-range radar to keep track of everything. And you get bonus points at the end of each wave based on how many trucks survived. So how challenging is this game? This game is very similar to the arcade classic Defender, but it stands out due to well-defined graphics and amazing sound. To get a Chopper Command patch, you simply have to get 10,000 points. This was pretty easy, but after 10,000 points, the difficulty really starts to ramp up. So this virtual patch was an easy but fun get.